reflections in the mirrors. You think it's your idea, puppet. You think it's your idea. Memorize your ABCs, but don't use your words, it spreads disease. You think it's your idea, puppet. You think it's your idea. You got two hands behind your back, but no ties are needed. You got your eyes glued to your phone, and you've been mistreated, but you think you're living like a sovereign, free as a bee in a hive. You think you're living like a sovereign, but you're just being a hive. Ooh, yeah. Collective evolution. Oh baby, collective evolution. You think it's your idea, puppet. You think it's your idea. You win and rewired your mind. Now you've gone blind. You're a robot. You can't see the forest for the trees. You're a robot, but I can still see you, human. I'm the one who lives forever. I wouldn't wanna be on your side of the street. Not evolution, it's devolution, devastation. Robot. You think it's your idea, puppet. You think it's your idea. You think it's your idea, puppet. You think it's your idea.
Greetings. Well, I want to follow up with some comments I made yesterday. The war is kind of inevitable. It's kind of based on, I just realized the Patriot movie is where Mel Gibson's character was trying to warn the townspeople that the Brits are here, they're coming for you, and we need to, organize to fight them off. And they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't move. And what happened is eventually the Brits did arrive there in the town. They locked everyone in the church, which they were already in church, and they burnt it and them to the ground, and they all lost their lives. They wouldn't heed the call, okay? And that's kind of what I was talking about. They won't heed the call, and so let me make the next leap. They're not going to heed it now, And I'd seen a movie last night, Civil War, which they released, of course, on Memorial Day, right? Where the government the government kills the president in the form of the U.S. military, and and feels justified or whatever. And it was fine. It just got me thinking. Prophetic way, it's like a warning shot across the bow. Like if you put Trump in there, this is what's going to happen, and things like that. I don't want to speculate too much on it. I'm willing to just let it go as, a kind of a half-baked story. But I can tell you this, that if there was a civil war, which there won't be, it will be a global war. And it won't look like it looked like on the film. The Civil War film was really not fifth generational warfare. That was more like traditional, North versus South kind of concept. It didn't go really beyond that. It really didn't go into the kind of war we're suffering now, which is blowing up plants, blowing up meatpacking plants, killing farms, derailing trains, killing infrastructure. That's going on right now, and it's a call to war, but we won't heed it. So my prediction is the people will not heed any war. So in terms of answering my talk yesterday, my kind of frustration with the fact that no one will do anything, they will continue not to do anything, and that's the end of it. Sorry. But my prediction is they will do nothing. There will be people doing something. It will be a minority. But most people are not going to do anything. They're going to just, okay, here's the deal. They don't want freedom. They want a strong man, a leader to follow. They want the propaganda. They want to feel good about themselves. They are tribal in their instincts. They want to have a tribal solution that if you behave this way and do your social credit score, take your CBDB, whatever, government issued, coins or money, and, and be like a Chinese system, they would love it. So when you think, oh, the cavalry is coming, the cavalry is not coming. What's happening is the globalists want, they ultimately a non-human world, okay, the end of human. They see no need for human. They're just useless eaters at this point. And they want to go digital. And they want to clean the earth of all carbon, trees, humans, animals, who knows where it stops. But that's what rich people and the corporatocracy is doing. And the people just want to be taken care of. And that's where we are today. And that's where we will stay. And I don't believe that people are going to suddenly rise up and take their freedom back or take their country back or whatever. And that's why you've got people out there yelling at Congress saying, why don't they do anything? They don't do anything because they don't have any reason to do anything. Nobody has a gun to their head. Nobody is going to throw them in jail if they don't do anything. They're going to be able to get their salaries, get their payoffs from the lobbyist, go live their cushy lives, get their kids in private school, and fuck the country. That's basically republicanism. I'm no Republican. I never will be. There'll never be a Democrat either. I'm not for the cheering on the death camp. Right? It's not me. I prefer freedom and I prefer free speech and things like that, and that may be gone. But anyway, regardless of whether it's gone or not, the point is that I can say season of war, and I can say the war is going on all around us. Fifth generational warfare is really raging right now. It's really ramping up. Things are getting broken, planes going down, things are happening every day, but no one is the wiser, and it's going to be like that. So, a film like Civil War is just kind of like, in a sense, if you want to look at it from a propaganda aspect, it's programming people to accept a civil war in the form that you see it on the screen. Which I think is what they would like. They would like a chance to go at, say, MAGA, the rural white supremacist in rural Nebraska or something, and they want to go gun them down. You know what I mean? Just like when they killed the president, it was no mercy. It was just bang, bang, bang. And that's what the U.S. government wants to do. And so they'll pay these directors or whoever else to do a narrative that fits the propaganda, fits the model of what they want to do. But I differ with it. I don't believe that movie that I saw is really the structure of what will come. I think it's much more insidious. It's much more fifth generational, which means it's asymmetrical, happening here, around the globe. I believe it's global. And, I also, believe it's a spiritual battle. And so, we're in a locked battle with Satan, and Satan is real. And the minions of Satan, the demons and all that are real. It's all real. The angels are real. Jesus is real. But it really comes down to this great roiling battle. And I believe what God is doing is God is really testing us, like he tested Job, to see which ones will cave in. It'd be easy to say, well, for me, it'd be like, how can I get $40 million to make them? Oh, I just got to kiss the ring of these people and, be their slave and agree to do a movie that's going to influence millions of people. But I can really make it my own, except for a couple little points. Count me in. How many people would take that deal? Many artists would take the deal. And it's funny how I look at all the arts differently now. I look at all of it as propaganda, and that's clearly what's wrong with the movies coming out of Amazon, MGM, Netflix, all that. I've been thinking about it, thinking deeply. Why don't we get movies like, the great ones of Kubrick or William Friedkin or, just so many, even David Fincher. Why don't we get, even David Fincher can't seem to do it. So what is the issue? What's the problem? And the problem is, I think, that we are so oversaturated with control, with, mind control, that we can't, to get the layers stripped away from each one of us so that we could do an honest film or an honest book or an honest something, to say something that's really ours to say. It would first take a lot of personal work to deprogram ourselves. And I think that people want the programming. They want to hear the world is this way. They like the way it is right now. And they're going to go on the side of the government and the powers that be. And they want a leader to tell them how to think. That's where the actors come in. That's where the directors come in. And that's where the singers come in. That's where the great athletes come in to influence because they found that these people influence the public better than any politician. And people like it. And they need it. And they want to feel secure. And this whole ideology of they look at the immigrant, and getting all these perks, and they're thinking, well, I'd like some of that too. If we would just quit rebelling, maybe we get some too. And no, they don't pay you when they have you on their side. They pay you when they're wooing you. But that's okay. People are just going to be like what they are. And I predict instead of a civil war here, I think you'd have asymmetrical warfare where things are happening. They could even do a bird flu and try to lock everyone down and say, if you don't take the jab, you go to jail and blah, 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 and just do all this draconian torture stuff. But that will never win hearts and minds. They will lose if that's the way they go at it again. Brute force rather than what works is to beguile people. Bait and switch, bring them in, tempt them. And that's what works. That's what works. Okay, that's the kind of thing that gets hearts and minds, not if you don't do this, this will happen to you and your family. That gets people wanting to fight. And maybe that's what they want. But I can tell you this, I don't have any respect for them. And I don't respect the so-called artists who work for these companies. I could have taken that route if I wanted to, but I didn't take it because it's wrong. It's wrong on my soul. It's wrong against my soul. It's wrong against my conscience. It means I would probably never be able to do another honest piece of work. I would do what they want. I could do what they want, and I could think in my own mind that I'm really doing what I want, but it would be what they want. And I would not be living truth. I'd be living a lie. And it would take, I may never come back from that. So you'd think everybody could see that. But I think a lot of people are sold out. I met a lot of Christians who were sold out to Jesus, they told me, but really they were sold out to their church or to a strongman somewhere. They were in a group, a cabal. They weren't able to think for themselves. And that one thing God wants is you to think for yourself. Anyway, things have gotten really bad, huh? And I think that they're going to try to stage some kind of thing. I think it will be over a bird flu and people not wanting to do mass, or people, some kind of incident like that where they're going to rebel in big numbers, and we'll be kicked off. It'll look just like the movie last night in a sense here, but it will be global, and it will be. They won't even be able to control it. Hopefully, it will end up, after a billion people are killed or so, maybe it'll be a cleansing. But I don't think there could be a cleansing without a war at this point. I don't think we could really go on with our society the way it is now without some capitulation, without some understanding or unification, or without people being tired of war, tired of death, tired of cheap, life being cheap, tired of it, and want to find value. And people are tired of feeling like a rotting dumpster, walking around feeling polluted and low energy and depressed. I mean, people don't want that. They want to be happy. They want their go play with their kids. They want to go fishing. They want to do something. People would much rather do things than just sit around and be inundated with illness. But that's unfortunately what's happening. So this Memorial Day, I think I reserve it to, I'd like to think that World War II was semi-normal, even though the circumstances getting into it were not. We know Vietnam was a joke. Korea, same thing. We know perpetual war is wrong. So I use this Memorial Day to maybe, pray against war, but again, it seems that war at this point is inevitable. However, I don't believe people are going to join the war. And so I don't know what that means exactly. Does that mean they're conquered? They're put in cages? What happens? Always with the fall of man, you have man A and man B. And man A is going to blame man B for all his problems. And once you arrest man B and you do with what you're going to do with you, kill him, put him in a cage or do something, then man A is happy because we're going to have a nice civilization now that we've gotten rid of man B. And that's the fall of man within. That we all have that kind of weird thinking. It's a fallen condition. It's a horrible condition because we're wrong to blame man B. We're wrong to blame MAGA. We're wrong to blame, whatever. We're wrong to put it all on one guy like Soros. It's wrong there too. This is the corruption that we have inherited, and we each have to deal with it. It needs to be cleansed from each one of us, not from the group. There's no group cleansing. No group salvation is what I mean to say. Okay, and with that, Jesus is the way. They don't understand. It's not about being a goody two-shoes in church. If it was about that, I would have already been kicked out a long time ago. How do you know it? No, it's way, way different. It has to do with something completely non-human. And with that, I bid you shalom.